back to another episode of the B Channel podcast, where my objective is to bless, edify, and encourage others to live their best lives. Now, before we get into today's episode, I want to remind you that you can find me on TikTok, Instagram, Pinterest, YouTube, and on my WordPress blog. All of the information for my social media pages can be found in the description of each episode. So make sure you check that out for more info about where else you can find me. And if you enjoyed this episode, feel free to share it with a friend who you think would benefit from it. Now, without further ado, I want to get into today's book I'm reviewing. It's called Wholeness by Torrey Roberts. Now, for those of you who don't know him, he is the pastor of one LA and one Denver, along with his wife, Sarah Jakes Roberts, the daughter of T.D. Jakes. And that's just a little background on him. And I really enjoyed the book because I feel like a lot of the times with these books, it's not that what they're saying is so revolutionary. It's how they choose to word it that really blesses my life, y'all. So, one of the things I love is that he took the time to write a whole book about our inner life, our inner spirit, our inner workings, if you will. And I just really enjoyed that because a lot of times when you read books, they're Christian based or they're faith based or supposed to be inspirational, they might spend like a chapter on it, but he really sat there and spent a whole book on our insides, like let's figure out what's going on with us on the inside and work on that, because if our insides are jacked up, how do we expect to be a good person to other people and love other people well? And I loved how he compared and contrasted God and the enemy throughout the book, because it was beautiful, because he identified that the enemy is about brokenness. He doesn't want to see you whole. God is all about wholeness. He wants you to be whole and to know how much he loves you and cares about you and has good plans for you, and to just be aware of the way that you move through life and just how it's impacting your destiny that he has in place for you by you to live in a place of brokenness instead of the wholeness that he meant for you to have. And it's just a beautiful book, 12 chapters, a nice short read. It's not, terribly long. That's one of the things that I enjoy about some books, is that they don't belabor the point, and it's not like 20-30 pages a chapter, and he did a great job of that, and also breaking down things when he needed to break down things. Great use of humor. I loved his personal anecdotes that he included, and it was just very vulnerable, and I just love that he didn't shy away from sharing his story to becoming whole. And I love that he really took away the power of this narrative that we've been telling ourselves in society, that we arrive at some point at wholeness. No, honey, we got to constantly recalculate like a GPS and be like, hold up, why did I move like that? Why did I say that to her or him? Or, why am I acting like this towards my family or my friends? Or why do I feel like this about my career or whatever? So you have to really dig deep and do that soul work to figure out why you're moving like this, and who told you this, who is telling you this narrative about yourself. And it's one of those things, like, the book really did a great job of, like, who told you that, and why do you believe that about yourself? So it caused you to just really sit and just wonder and think, like, okay, why have I believed this for so long? And how do I do the work to get to a place where I think differently? I think more highly of myself and more highly of others too. So It's definitely a worthwhile read. I even think that I could see myself reading it again. And I have to be completely honest with y'all. Most of the time when I read a book, I am not reading that thing over. I'm not even thinking about reading it over, but this was delightful. And I think that it would be worth a second read if I ever got around to it, because I have to tell y'all too that I am such a book nerd. I love reading books. I am a total bibliophile, okay? And as a person who loves books, by the way. And I'm just like, oh my goodness. It's nothing like reading a book to escape and, in this case, evolve and learn and grow and have your eyes open to more possibilities and just discover more about yourself. And sometimes, to be vulnerable like that, it can be scary. So I really applaud him for being able to be vulnerable on a public stage, such as a book, and just share so much of himself, because that definitely takes courage. And I feel like the courage that he showed was encouraging. So, yeah, I would definitely recommend this book. Like, if you're going through a rough patch in your life and you just don't know, you don't understand yourself, you don't understand, even if you don't understand God, it's really helpful to see, like, he breaks it down so beautifully. What God wants for us, who God is to us, and just, how to have a correct view of life and how to put things into perspective. So if you're looking for a great book to help you with like self-esteem, self-worth, self-love, and also with a byproduct of how to love others better and to love God better, this is a great book for you to pick up. It's on Amazon, and I'm assuming it's everywhere else that books are sold. It's a great book. And then to piggyback off of that, I had recently found out about a couple of other books that I wanted to read by him. So I'm excited about that. And I'm excited about the next book already. I don't even know what it's going to be yet, y'all. But I feel like I'm on this pathway of just enjoying the journey, learning more about myself and being comfortable with that. Because sometimes it can be uncomfortable to sit with yourself, and be like, what's going on with me? And really take the time to be silent, and understand yourself and just be patient with yourself. It's like, this is like a fun journey, but a hard journey, and that's one of the things that I'm learning, that if I want to grow, I can't grow and not look at myself. It's kind of like if I wanted to walk through life blindfolded. How can I know where I'm going if I cover my eyes? If I cover my eyes to all of the dark things, if I cover my eyes to all of the hurtful things, if I cover my eyes to all of the things that are more unpleasant about myself, how can I ever grow if I just see all the good and none of the bad? You have to examine, like, how could I be better? And it's also something that takes humility too. It takes humility to admit, I can be better in this area than I am. And I really have enjoyed that more than I ever thought I would. And that's just something I want to leave with y'all today. The process of humility, that's something that you have to constantly be on too, like checking your ego at the door and being like, I could grow in this area. I'm not doing the greatest in this area, and when you take the time to really see that, it helps you to grow. It can only make you a better person. So I hope that y'all enjoyed this episode and learned something about that book. Once again, it's called Wholeness by Touré Roberts. You can find it on Amazon and I'm sure every other retailer as well that sells books. Thank you for listening, and I will see you next time. Toodles.